Hey, this is Joe. This is Quick Start video number 2. I'm going to show you how to get your auto marketer started. You've already put your credit card information in. You've purchased a phone number that can be sent out in, and now it's just a matter of getting the ball rolling, and it's pretty easy to do. And there's a lot of functionality with the auto marketer that you don't really need to know how to use in order to get it started. So I'm going to show you just the basics, just the basic things that you need to get started. Now, when you log into yours, you're not going to see all these campaigns. These are campaigns that I've set up that we did testing on, but you are going to find 2 of these campaigns, default campaigns. And I'm going to suggest that you use the 3-month sequence to Zillow. So you'll click on this. And by the way, you're in the auto marketer, and you're in this section of the auto marketer here. And you're going to see some campaigns that you can fill out. First of all, you can name your campaign. If I want to call it something special, let's say I'm working in Indiana, I can put in Indiana. Or I can put the cities that I'm working in or whatever. Then I can pick the number. And remember, we already bought the phone number over in the phone system, so pick the number that you want to use. And if I'm working in Indiana, then I can use a 317 area code because that's an Indiana area code. If I was working in California, I'd want to buy a phone number over here with a 213 area code. And if I wanted to do multiple cities or multiple states, I can do that simply by cloning my campaigns and making multiples of those campaigns and using those. And I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Next, you're going to click on the category that you want to use, and you have 2 choices, the for rent ads or the for sale by owners in Zillow. I would suggest sticking with the for sale by owners. The for rent ads have realtors in them, have property managers in it, and there's ways to work those, but let's just get started with for sale by owners. Next, you can select your city, and you can either do it by the city and state and city that you're in, or you can do it by zip code. And I'm going to show you this Zillow URL, which is probably not on your account yet, but just something we're working on. You're going to see soon. So let's say I want to work in Indiana, and I want to work in Indianapolis. And if I wanted to work in multiple states, I could put in multiple states here, but don't put the cities in until you put the states in, because as soon as I add another state here, it'll clear this out. Then I'll have to go back in and choose the cities all over again. But let's say I'm just working in these, in this one city. Once I've done that, I can also select by zip code, but let's come back to that, and let's scroll down the page here. And most of these are going to have a maximum of 1,000. You want to be able to stop this at some point, and it's going to run every day. And you can make it run every 2 days, every 4 days, everything up to every 14 days if you like to. And once you've done that, once you've made those choices, click on See the Cost of this campaign. And it's going to go into Zillow, and it's going to find out how many for sale by owners fit this criteria. And it's going to show you there's 158 of them that fit that criteria. And you're going to be paying 8 cents per ad for it, so it's going to cost you $12.64 out of your $20 of credit that you're getting in the system. Now, if you go over that $20 of credits, then you're going to get charged, your credit card is going to get charged another $20, and in $20 increments. Most of the time, if you're using this system and you're using one city, you're probably going to need to put in another $20 every month to cover this on average. It's also going to show you the cost it takes to send these messages at 2.5 cents per message, how much it's going to cost to get messages back at 2.5 cents per message, assuming maybe a 30% response rate, which may be high. It's probably going to run anywhere from 5 to 40%. I've seen it go as high as 75 or 80%, but that's rare. Also, the number of inbound messages and what it's going to cost to send those out. And then the estimated total cost of this campaign will be $17.77. And again, this is an estimate. It's not dead on the money. And basing that on this return that we get, if we got 47 leads, that means that they would cost 38 cents per lead. And there's a little bit more information here you might want to read just to understand how those stats are working a little bit better. Now, if I want to refine my search a little bit and make it a little bit more specific, I can do that. I would not recommend it to you. And you can watch the tutorials on how to do that. But if you go to step number 2, there's other ways that you can refine this search by keyword, by the type of property that you're looking for. I'm going to say stick with house, condo, and townhouse, by the square footage size, by the price range, by how many bedrooms and baths they've got, and all that criteria. I would leave all this stuff blank unless you have something really specific that you're trying to accomplish. The other way that we can search is by zip code, and I can put as many zip codes in here as I want. All I have to do is put a comma after them, or just hit return, and it'll happen as well. And I can put as many zip codes as I want, and then I can hit this click to see cost of this campaign, and it'll go in there and find out how many ads are in those particular areas, and it'll reset the stats. You have to click on this, or you have to click on save in order to refresh those numbers. The Zillow thing, I'm just going to show you real quickly what this is, and it's not functioning yet, but it's going to. And what you can do is come into Zillow, put in the area that you want. So I put in Indianapolis, Indiana, and then I can click on draw. And once I've done that, I can start circling areas that I'm interested in. And once I've done that and hit apply, it'll find just the properties in those areas, and that way it'll focus on just very specific areas if you'd like to do it. And I find it's really handy to be able to look at an area that I'm working in and say, okay, I want to work in areas where there's concentrations of properties, and then I can go pick those areas. If I know there's one here, and I know there's one here, and I know there's one here, I can do that and apply, and it'll find those properties. That's not something you're going to need right away, and it's not functioning yet anyway. I just want to let you know what's coming because I'm kind of excited about it. This third step is the campaign that you're using. And the campaign can also be edited in the follow-up system or created in the follow-up system. You can pick a different campaign if you want to, but since you're just getting started here, you don't need to do that. If you want to learn more about it, go into the follow-up system, and you can learn about the follow-up systems and how those work and all the functionalities of those. But this one is set up so that it sends out text messages to these leads that are coming in from Zillow, and it sends them over a 3-month period automatically without you having to worry about it. Once it's scraped, it's automatically going to start dripping on those people, and then once a day it'll send out a text based on which day it is. So on day 1, it's going to send out this text message saying, you know, would you like to sell your home, rent to buy? On day 4, it's going to send out the second message, and this time it's going to give them a URL. It's going to give them a link to your clone site. This is the rent-to-own seller site. On day 8, it's going to send out another text message. This time it's going to send them to your We Will Buy site with more information. And you can look up the websites by going to clone sites and going to this clone site button, and you can see all the different websites that this thing will be using. Or you can just click on your link here, and this is a tracking URL, so you can keep track of how many clicks you get. And it's also a shortened URL, so it'll be shorter than the one you gave us or the one you set up, and make it easier for us to text, or easier for you to text. And this goes on for 85 days. This is a 3-month campaign that continues to drip on for sale by owners. The theory is that a lot of times when people first put their properties up for sale, they're not ready to sell or work with us yet, but they might be in a week or in 2 weeks or in 3 weeks, and we want to be there dripping on them with new information and new ideas and new ways to sell their property, with new websites, you know, on a regular basis, so that they will remember us. And then when it's time for them to finally do something serious about getting their property sold, they'll give us a call or send us a text. The next one is this step 4. You don't have to worry about this so much, but one thing that I would suggest that you add is go back to step 1, copy this name, and then create a new tag for this type of lead. That way you'll have this name here. You can create this tag and it'll show up over here. And now when they come in as a lead, they'll be tagged with this tag, and I'll know where they came from. They're also going to be tagged as a seller, and an email, whenever a lead comes in, whether it's classified or not, is going to be sent to whatever team member you choose. So pick a team member by clicking on this button, and it'll have a drop-down menu, and any team member that you've set up, you can have it set up so that it will send them an email when a new lead comes in. If you haven't set up your team yet, you can go to team management and you can set up more people on your team so that they get those emails. I'm going to remove that one. And you can also, whenever a lead comes in, you can give them a new campaign. And you can do it based on keywords that are in the text message that they're sending to you. So if they say, yes, I'd like to do this, or I'm serious, or where are you located, anything with a comma separated, use phrases that you think they might use, and then it can put them into that campaign, and that way they'll be labeled as a yes lead or a no lead. And you might want to follow up with them differently depending on the type of lead that they are. You can also edit these leads, and you can add different keywords to them, and you can modify them. I find that this yes or no categorization works, 50 or 60% of the time, but not always. So then you hit next or step 5, and all you have to do is click on Start Campaign Now, or you can pick the time when you'd like it to start, date and time you'd like it to start. But it's easy just to hit Start Campaign, and it'll start the process of scraping and sending out your ads and your leads. Once your ads start coming in, you're going to see that they've been scraped. So on this one, there's 205, 145 were sent. The reason fewer were sent than were scraped is because you've got duplicates. You might have people on your blacklist. If you keep this blacklist, it'll keep you from having to send out to people that don't want to hear from you, or that are unhappy with you for some reason, or you don't want to deal with ever again. You can just put them on the blacklist, and it'll never send them, the whole system will never send them another text blast or voice blast or email. So it sent out this many text messages, and it's got this many leads that came in. So about a 33% response rate on this particular campaign over time. And this response rate will start to go up over time as well in most cases, because it'll drip on them over time. This campaign's been running for a little while, and that's why there's more scraped ads in here than you can get in these particular areas. If there's only maybe 170 in these areas, but we've sent out 205, that means that some people have disappeared from the system and more people have added themselves over time. And typically you'll see, like in Indianapolis, you'll see 2 or 3 or 4 people a day will add themselves to Craigslist, or I'm sorry, to Zillow as a new property for sale, and then it'll scrape them and it'll start them into the system. Everybody else, it'll continue to send and drip on them for that 3-month period. If you ever want to stop the campaign, all you have to do is click on pause to pause the campaign, and it'll stop scraping. All the people that are in the follow-up campaign will continue to get leads. So if you want to stop those, you have to go to the follow-up system and stop that entire campaign, that entire follow-up campaign. There's more details about how this page works and what all these things mean if you'll just watch the video tutorial for this page. There will be a button up here that shows video tutorial when we're done, and you can watch that video tutorial to explain more in detail if you need to know it. But right now, I just want to get you started and get you moving forward. So now the next video that I'd like you to listen to is Quick Start video number 3. It's going to show you how to deal with your leads. And it's going to take you to lead management and show you how the lead management system works and explain all that to you. All right, good luck. Get it started and start sending out those leads and start talking to these people and putting deals together. All right, good luck.